Hi everybody, this video seeks to show you how to use Zoom from a phone. The phone that I'm going to be using is an iPhone. You may not have an iPhone, that's absolutely fine. Many of the steps that I'm going through will be very similar to those that you will use on your phone, but they might look slightly different, or some of the words may be slightly different. So it's a really good idea just to have a little practice of it before you attend a Zoom meeting, just to get used to it on your own phone. So I'm going to go through how to download the app, join a meeting. I'm going to show you what the waiting room looks like. I will show you how to be heard and seen. I'll explain how to rename yourself, which is really important for security reasons, that you have your name. Something that happens quite commonly on phones is that it comes through as the name of your phone, which for example could be SG132, which doesn't tell anyone who you are. So it could mean that a host doesn't admit you into a meeting and you miss your meeting. So it's really important that you have your name is correct, or you know how to rename yourself when you're in a meeting. Chatting, reacting, how to share your screen on your phone, and also how to multitask on a phone, which is possible. It seems like it's quite a small screen, but it is possible to do something else at the same time as being in a meeting if necessary. And lastly, I'll show you how to leave a meeting. Okay, so let's get started. The apps at the top are the 4 apps that you would need to join a Zoom meeting. I know it seems like quite a few apps there, but really the only app that you would need to download new is Zoom. You've probably got the others already. The first app there is your mail client, and I've put that up there just to represent anywhere where you would have received the URL or the link, the meeting invite. I'm going to show you an email as an example, but you could easily have been given it through WhatsApp, or they can be sent through Facebook, anything like that. Next, I've got the App Store, which is where I would download the Zoom app. You can also do it through the Zoom website, but it's easy enough just to do it through your phone. And then we've also got settings, which we're going to have to go through to change the settings and give permissions to this new app that you're going to download. And lastly is that app, Zoom app. Okay, so the first thing that you would go to is the App Store. You would search for Zoom and you would download it. I'll show you how to do that. If I go on search, type in Zoom, search, and there it is. For me, it's asking me to open it, but for you, it would have a different button there asking you if you wanted to download it. Zoom is free, so you can download it for free. Okay, I'm going to go out of that. So once you've downloaded the app, you need to check the settings. The settings on the iPhone is separated into a few different sections, but if we go right to the bottom, because Zoom handily begins with Z, which is the end of the alphabet, so it's right at the bottom of the list. If I click on Zoom, there we have our settings. The 2 that we need to change are microphone and camera. To access a meeting and to be fully involved with the meeting, you need to have your camera on and to have your microphone on so you can speak. You can see here that they're blacked out, but if I click on them, then it switches them on. So I'm giving Zoom permission to use my microphone and permission to use my camera. You can do this, by the way, through when you have accessed the meeting. However, I would definitely recommend that you download the app before and do these permissions before a meeting, so that you don't have the stress when you first enter the room of having to sort your permissions out. Okay. So you've downloaded your app, you've changed your permissions, and now you need to join a meeting. So I'm going to go on to my emails. Now this is the email that was sent to myself asking me to join a meeting. This is maybe what you receive, something very similar. We've got a URL here and a meeting ID. You don't need both of those. You can join directly through the app with the meeting ID, or you can join through the URL. I'm going to show you how to join through the URL. So if I click on the URL, and it's going to ask me if I want to open this page in Zoom. If I hadn't already downloaded Zoom, it would tell me to go and download it first, and it would show me how to do that. If I click open, there we are, it's opening Zoom, and I found myself in a waiting room. So this is the waiting room. The waiting room is somewhere where all new participants land, and the host of the meeting is alerted and told that there are people waiting in the waiting room, and it's up to them to then admit you. So the host is now going to admit me, and I find myself in the meeting now. Now I'm in the meeting, it's asking me to connect to audio, which means it will allow me to hear other people. So I've already done permissions to make sure that people can hear me. I now need to connect to the audio of the meeting. I can do that by clicking internet audio, or I can dial in through my phone. So I'm going to call in using internet audio there. Okay. So now I'm in the meeting. I know this screen looks quite black, so you can't really see anything on here, but you have to, if you press, there we go, if I just touch the screen, then it brings up a bar on the top and it brings up a bar on the bottom. This is very similar to the desktop version in that you, when you first come in, you'd be able to see the person speaking, but you won't be able to see these bars that are really important. And if you just hover your cursor down the bottom, you'll be able to see it. The same on your phone here. If I click, then I can see my mute and I can see my video. So the microphone here, if it's white, that means that I'm not muted and that people can hear me. If I click on it again and it goes red, then that shows that I'm muted. It's really good habit to get into, to mute yourself when you're in a meeting so that other people can't hear the background noise. And especially if you're in a meeting with quite a few people, there can be a lot of feedback. Next is the video. So I'm going to show you how to share your video. If I click on, so it goes white, you can see it's gone white there, and the video's up here. However, you can't really see me, you can just see my ceiling and my visualizer at the moment because of how I'm setting this video up. So I'm going to switch that camera off now. Okay, there we go, they're both on red. That means I'm muted and I don't have a video. So next is renaming yourself. How to rename yourself. Again, like I said before, it's really important to make sure that you rename yourself for security reasons, to ensure that everyone that's in that meeting is who they, does have a name. And it's also nice to be able to call people by their names and not Samsung Galaxy 325, for example. Okay, so if I go on participants, and I can see all the different participants there. If I click on myself, and I click on rename, then I can rename myself. Okay. As you saw, it already came up with my name, and that's because my phone is already set up with my name, so it's automatically put that in, but it could have easily have come up with iPhone 365. Okay, and while we're here, I'm going to show you how you can do some reactions. So during the presentation, you may want to react, but not necessarily want to say anything. And you can do that in a few ways. You can see these things at the bottom. You can raise your hand. You can ask people to go faster and go slower. If I click on invite, you've actually got a thumbs up. And you see here, it comes up here. You've got the a clap emoji, and I need a coffee break, that kind of thing. So that's quite important, those little reactions for your host to see. Okay, I'm going to close that down. I'm now going to show you how to chat. If I click on these three dots at the bottom that say more, okay, and you've got chat options there. If I click on chat, then it brings this up for you to chat. Something to note here, if I click on everyone, it would allow me to specifically choose someone. So I'm specifically choosing the host, for example, to talk to, and that would send a private message. If I click on everyone, then the message gets sent to everybody. Now I'm going to close that. I'm going to show you how to share your screen next. We see this green button at the bottom, share content. There we go. There we go. I'm going to click on share content, and it gives you a few options of things that you can share, whether it's your screen, photos, a URL, that kind of thing. Okay. It's not like how it is with desktop. However, it is limited. That's because you're using a phone, but you can still share things. That availability is still there. Next, I'm going to show you how to multitask, and that's really easy. So if you get an email when you're in a meeting and you need to read that email, and this works with iPhone, you can click out of your Zoom meeting and access your emails. You see this green bar at the top, that shows that you're still in the meeting. So if I click on Zoom again after I've read my email, it'll bring me back into the room. Other people don't know that you've done that, and you can still hear the meeting going on if you've still got your speaker on, but it means you can go and check that email at the same time. Or if someone asks you to go and check something else, for example, go and check a Padlet link, then you can do that. Last thing that I'd like to show you is how to leave the room, and that's quite easy. You see that big red button at the top? If you click leave, it asks you if you want to leave the meeting, so it checks, just in case you accidentally press the button once, you have to click it twice. If I click leave meeting, it's telling me it's now leaving, and I've now left the meeting. Okay, so that was how to access Zoom through your phone. If you do have any questions, please do ask, but I hope that was useful for you.